On today's show, an updated and in-depth tutorial for getting cinematic footage using your iPhone and the FiLMiC Pro app, and that starts right now. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Camp with the Piedmont Motion Picture Show. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time finding us, this channel is all about learning and growing as a filmmaker. So if you're interested in short films, gear reviews, and filmmaking tutorials just like this one, please consider subscribing. Almost a year ago, I posted a video about achieving cinematic results using your iPhone and the FiLMiC Pro app, and you guys were very interested. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can watch it right here. To this day, it's been the most popular video on this channel, hands down. Today I thought that I would do an updated version of that tutorial for the latest version of FiLMiC Pro, and throw in a little stabilizer action just for good measure using my new Smove Mobile Gimbal. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. Achieving cinematic footage with your mobile phone has never been easier. The onboard camera controls on most smartphones are pretty great, but to get the most control out of my images, I prefer to use the FiLMiC Pro app. This is an app that you can buy from the App Store. Be sure to purchase the additional Cinematographer'S kit, which is an in-app purchase. This allows you to capture more dynamic range and retain complete control during the color grading process later. Note that at this time, the Cinematographer's pack is only available for select devices. You can access the new color options granted to you by the Cinematographer's kit by accessing the imaging button represented by the color wheels in the lower left of the app's display. I suggest using the new log mode, which is to the far right. This will give you a much more desaturated image and increased shadow details. This will give you the most flexibility when color grading your footage later. Please note that these color profiles will not work when shooting at an FPS higher than 60. So if you're trying to get some buttery smooth 120 frames per second slow-mo, unfortunately this won't work for that. Remember when you start shooting your footage to turn your phone horizontally for a wide cinematic look. Unless you're shooting a video to be featured on something like Instagram Stories, then you can leave your phone turned vertical. But otherwise, horizontal is the way to go. Before we start filming, we will need to set up our FiLMiC Pro app to get the best results. And as a rule of thumb going forward, before you hit record, always double check your settings. You don't want to ruin that perfect shot because your camera wasn't set up properly. First, we will want to set our color profile and adjust our white balance. On the top menu, we can find the control for white balance. Like most cameras, we can set it manually depending on the available lighting and the subject matter. Or we can click AWB to have the app adjust it automatically. Either way, choose what fits your situation best and get an appropriate color cast for your image. Tap the Auto White Balance button again to turn the button red and lock everything into place to avoid color shifts later. Next, choose the Log Color Profile from the second menu option like we discussed earlier. This gives us a nice flat image to work with. On the third row of options here, you can also adjust the saturation and vibrance manually. Whatever you do, be sure not to overexpose or underexpose your image, too light or too dark, or you will have data loss within your image that can't be saved no matter how you adjust your image later. Let's go over some of the basics of the FiLMiC Pro app's controls. The circle reticle in the middle of the screen lets you control exposure in your image. Drag the circle over the image until the exposure is just right and the subject of your image is evenly lit, unless you're purposely lighting for darkness. The square reticle controls focus. Drag this reticle over the point of focus to focus your image. You can lock either of these reticles into place and avoid them shifting while filming by tapping them and turning them red. Red means locked. Just tap them again to unlock. In the bottom center of your screen, you'll see a HUD display for your time code counter, battery life, storage space, audio level, FPS settings, and video settings. By default, FiLMiC Pro films in 1080p and 24 frames per second to give you that film look right away. On the right side of your screen, you can see a zoom rocker to zoom in and out by dragging up or down. You'll notice that the slider will change from green, orange, and red. This helps indicate how much quality you are losing due to zooming in too far. For the best results, stay in the green. Of course, to begin or end recording, you can click the record button found in the lower right of the screen, and it will turn red while recording is in progress. Click the cog button at the bottom of the screen to access the settings menu. Here, depending on your camera, you can click the camera button to choose between different focal lengths, or you can reverse the camera to go into selfie mode. To view any of your recordings, trim them, make small adjustments, or to transfer the files to another device, just click the FiLMiC Library button located at the bottom right beside the record button. It resembles a small play button. Tap the X to exit this menu at any time. Back in the settings menu, let's click on the resolution option and set our resolution. On anything higher than the iPhone 6s and up, we can record in 4K with a bit rate of 100 megabits per second. If storage on your phone is not an issue, set your resolution to 4K and use the FiLMiC Extreme codec for the highest quality. Next, let's set our frame rate. To replicate the film look, set your frame rate to 24 FPS. You'll notice that the higher frame rates are grayed out here. That's because we are shooting in 4K, which does not allow for higher frame rates. If we wanted to film in 120 frames per second for slow motion, we would need to go back to the resolution menu and lower our resolution to 1080p to access these higher frame rates. Another important setting here is allowing the app to save your files directly to your device's camera roll. Click Device and turn this setting on if you want to save footage captured with the FiLMiC Pro app directly to your camera roll. Now, if everything is set up the way we want, we need to save it as a preset. Make sure you have your resolution, FPS, and camera settings how you want them, and then go to Settings and then Presets. Save your camera settings here as a preset and then name them for easy access later. It will save you time and possibly help avoid some costly mistakes in the future. I would recommend setting up a preset for 4K cinema quality if your device can support it, or the highest resolution your device allows along with 24 FPS. I would also create a preset for slow-mo B-roll when you need it also. Let's take a look at some of the more advanced controls within FiLMiC Pro. To utilize the manual sliders within the app, tap and hold on either reticle, or you can swipe in from the sides. To close them, just swipe back out. To go into full manual mode, click the icon located in the bottom left next to the imaging button. This locks both reticles and pulls up the manual slider for full manual control. The slider on the right allows you to manually adjust focus with built-in peaking for perfect focus and adjust your zoom manually as well. The slider on the left allows you to adjust exposure settings and provides zebra stripes in red and blue to show you your overexposed and underexposed areas. This slider can also help you adjust your shutter speed, and you can tap the shutter speed number to lock or unlock it in place. The A button located next to the full manual button is a live analytics button. This button will show or hide your live analytics such as zebra stripes and focus peaking when you want to pull them back up or get rid of them. The options that pop up at the top of the screen when live analytics are active give you controls for zebra stripes, a clipping overlay, a false color overlay for a complete exposure profile, and a mode for turning focus peaking on permanently during your shoot. Just tap it to toggle on and off. One awesome new feature is the pull-to-point focus automation. Swipe in from the right to reveal the manual focus slider. On the wheel you will see 3 lines. The bold line is your current focus. The 2 other lines are pull points. Set your starting focus position. Then tap once on the current value indicator to set the closest pull point into position. Then set your in focus point and tap to set your second pull point into place. Now you can just tap either pull point to do a smooth focus pull. Once you get the hang of this, you'll be pulling off some nice focus pulls. This same process can be applied to exposure pulls and the zoom slider as well. FiLMiC Pro not only gives you complete control of your video, but it also gives you great control of your audio as well. Here you can choose which microphone you want to use and set your sampling rate. For Premiere Pro users like myself, you'll want to use the PCM or AAC compressed. FiLMiC Pro also supports any iOS-compatible external microphones as well. Once your mic of choice is connected to your device, just select it from the audio menu for a big boost in your audio quality. You can manually adjust your audio level by dragging the audio level at the bottom of the HUD and make sure your levels aren't going into the red before recording. In the settings menu, you can also find options for setting up various accessories to work alongside your FiLMiC Pro app, like the popular DJI Osmo Mobile. These are all accessible under the hardware menu. Also in the settings menu, there is a toggle for image stabilization, a toggle for the camera's light, and a toggle for a screen guide for when you want to use the rule of thirds in your shots. Now let's look at how to set up the app to capture slow-mo shots for your B-roll. Go to the settings and adjust your frame rate to 120 FPS and leave the playback set to 24 FPS.
Note that to achieve super slow-mo, you'll need to drop your resolution down to 1080p.
And also note that the flat color profiles will no longer be selectable. Let's look at how to achieve a time-lapse with the FiLMiC Pro app as well. Set your camera up with a tripod in the desired position and go to Settings and back into the frame rate menu. Click the time-lapse button in the top right corner. Select how often you want your device to take an image. In this case, I'll set it up to take an image every 45 seconds. Exit back out and hit the record button. Leave the device alone and let it record your series of time-lapse images for however long you'd like, or until the battery or phone storage starts to get low. The app will automatically assemble the images into a single video time-lapse file for you. Okay, so now we understand most of the basic functions of the FiLMiC Pro app. We have our presets set up the way we want them for filming cinematic quality footage, and we're ready to start shooting. But there's a lot more to achieving that film look than just having the proper camera settings. Remember that camera orientation, framing, composition, and camera movement all play an important role in getting that film look. Stabilizers like the Smove Mobile Gimbal can also help you get cinematic movement. Click here for a full tutorial on how to get the best results with the Smove Mobile Gimbal. Once you're confident in the footage that you've managed to capture, now it's time to bring it into your editing platform of choice and put on that final layer of polish. Color correction and color grading are a very important part of how we get that film look, and they're the reason that we film our footage in a desaturated or a flat color profile. It allows for more control when color grading. All of the B-roll footage that you've seen in this video today has been color graded with my FiLMiC LUT Pack Volume 1. You can pick up this LUT Pack for yourself by following the link in the description below. You'll be helping support this channel, and if you use the coupon code Piedmont, you'll save an additional 15% at checkout. For the final pieces of this FiLMiC Pro tutorial puzzle, let's bring our footage into our editing software and see how we can put on those final finishing touches. Open up Premiere Pro and create a new sequence that matches the frame rate of your footage. In this case, we will want our sequence settings at 23.976 to accommodate our 24 FPS footage. And I personally use a 1080p timeline with my 4K footage. This allows you to have more flexibility when framing your shots, and the footage looks really nice when it's downsized. You'll also need to set your aspect ratio to 16:9. Once you have your sequence settings in order and your timeline is ready to go, import your footage of choice. Create a new adjustment layer by clicking the new item button located at the bottom of your project bin. Drag this adjustment layer over your footage. We will use this adjustment layer to apply our effects so they can easily be toggled on and off without affecting our original footage. Also, using an adjustment layer dragged over several different footage clips allows us to change different clips at once using the same effect if we need to. Apply the Lumetri effect to the adjustment layer and it will bring up options for color adjustments. You can go down to the Creative tab and pull up any LUTs you have installed on your system here. Using LUTs within the Creative tab is good because it allows us to adjust their intensity. If you'd like a full tutorial on how to install and properly use my FiLMiC Pro LUT pack or any other LUTs, please watch this video right here for more details. Before we finish, here are a few quick tips that can help improve your footage. If you have a shot that is too shaky, you can try using Warp Stabilizer to correct it. Watch this video for more details on fixing shaky footage. Faux camera movement can also be used to help improve the look of static shots and add visual interest. Adjust the position and scale of your footage on the effect keyframes to move your shots smoothly. Having large footage like the 4K footage also helps give you more flexibility in this department as well. We will cover this further in a later video. And finally, for that last cinematic touch, you can add letterboxing or black bars to your footage. Here I'm using a 235 letterbox over my footage. You can create these manually using solids or use a template. They can be found just about everywhere on the internet. With these steps and knowledge of how to get the best results with your FiLMiC Pro app, you'll be getting awesome cinematic shots with your mobile phone in no time. Okay guys, question of the day. What would you like to see more of on this channel? This is your opportunity to help shape the future of the Piedmont Motion Picture Show. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see more of on this channel. What do you personally find most beneficial? Is it more short films, more gear reviews, or more filmmaking tutorials just like this one? Let me know in the comments below. We've just revamped our website over at piedmontmotionpicture.com, so go check it out and let me know what you think, and while you're there, be sure to sign up for our newsletter. We also have some sweet Piedmont Motion Picture Show merch that's going to be hitting the channel pretty soon, so stay tuned to the website for that as well. We're giving away some exclusive perks and free filmmaking resources to our patrons over on Patreon. So if you'd like to help support this channel and gain access to a growing number of like-minded and aspiring filmmakers just like you and myself, please head over to Patreon and sign up. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been very beneficial to you, and if it has, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks for coming along on this filmmaking journey with me, and I will see you next time on the Piedmont Motion Picture Show.